and gentlemen, to JWF Monday Night Ignition. I'm your host, Silver Spoon, joined by a man who knows it's better to rule in heck than serve in heaven, Captain Tibbs.
Of course, Sills. I like my heck like I like my showers, burning my skin off.
That's right, and we are going to heck in a sec this Sunday, ladies and gentlemen. The Heck in a Sec pay-per-view, the most hellish, the most destructive pay-per-view of the entire year. And you know what, Tibbs, in the past we've had one Heck in a Sec match, two. This year, 3 Heck in a Sec matches. We're gonna see your son Chuck Tibbs try to win back the JWF championship against Guy Fieri. We're going to see Hollywood Hulcher versus Danny Roanoke. And, as you announced last week for the JWF Captain's Championship, we are going to see the Dylan defend against Blake Tanner and Ghazi. That is 3 Heck in a Sec matches right there.
And need I remind you, Sills, these matches are so vicious, they cause our insurance premiums to go up 1,000% per each match.
That's right, but in addition to that, we also have that 4-on-4 match. The VWO taking on the team known as Hard Americans. And Tibbs, earlier today, you upped the stakes. They said this was going to just be an elimination match, but you decided up the ante, put those titles in a briefcase, hang them high above the ring, and then whoever grabs it becomes the JWF Tag Team Champions. And who knows, will it stay with our current champions, the Rising Suns, or will it go to the Wild-Eyed Southern Boys of the Hard Americans? It is a toss-up.
I don't know, Sills. I just kind of wanted to add a little bit of flair, a little bit of flash in the pan to our pay-per-view. A little pun there.
That is right, but the one match everyone's excited for is the pay-per-view debut of the King of the Hill, Robert Hill. And you know, usually a pay-per-view debut, we try to throw you a softball, but not Robert Hill, who is taking on one of the most dominant tag teams in our entire division, coach and friend. Robert's coming right out the gate in a damn handicap match.
After seeing his performance over the last few weeks, I don't think Robert Hill is that worried about it either, Sills. He looks like he is ready, and he's a go big or go home kind of guy.
That's right, and it looks like just making a point to coach and friend is Robert Hill, who is in our ring right now, set to start off the show in another handicap match, taking on Misters Cash in the Bag themselves, Bananas in Pajamas. And you know what, Tibbs? I know Robert thinks this is going to be a steamroller of a match, but we have seen Bananas in Pajamas in the past. They have been former JWF Tag Team Champions. They have that Cash in the Bag briefcase that allows them to cash in for title shots whenever they want. I mean, this will not be an easy go, I think, for Robert Hill.
Have you seen that guy, Sills?
Oh, well, hold on. That bell's going ding, and look at this. Bananas in Pajamas immediately taking advantage, jumping on Robert, trying to begin that early beatdown. And Tibbs, what did I tell you? These two men... Okay, Robert is just beating them up now. Massive uppercut to the jaw, Johnny Pajamas, before grabbing Joey, and oh my God, just throwing him at Johnny. He just made him spear his own tag team partner, Tim.
What happens, Sills, when you try to conquer the King of the Hill? You just get a damn hill on you.
That's right. It looks like Robert not done picking up both men and locking them in for a double gaslighter. That vicious DDT, dropping them both onto their skull. And look at it, stacking them high like flapjacks, going for a pin. 1, 2, 3. And just like that, Robert Hill sending a defiant message to coach and friend ahead of their handicap match this Sunday. But let's not forget, he's not going to have to get one pinfall. He's going to have to pin both members of Coach and Friend this Sunday in that epic handicap elimination match.
And Sills, if he does it with half the style he did with that match right there, I'd say it might only be about 5 to 7 minutes.
That's right, but you got to remember, Bananas in Pajamas, yes, they've been tag team champions, but the men that Robert Hill are facing, coach and friend, they're men who have been to the top of the mountain. They have fought for the tag titles at WrestlePalooza. They've faced off against the BS, one of the most dominant tag teams our division's ever seen, and they held their own. If there's any tag team that I would put up against this Mack truck of a man, it would definitely be coach and friend.
You're right about that one, Sills. They've got the experience to deal with somebody on the level of Robert Hill, but do they have the endurance to get past his terrifying self?
That is right, Tibbs. But speaking of three other men that are going to be in the ring this Sunday, I want to talk about the three men that are going to be stepping in to our first ever triple threat Heck in a Sec match. The Dylan, Blake Tanner, and the Nightmare, the man known as Ghazi. Now, of course, this has been happening for months. Blake Tanner desperately trying to get his hands on that title, utilizing Ghazi, manipulating him. But it almost seems like Ghazi's in a different mind space. He's focusing on this higher power returning to the JWF. And I'll be honest, I think that's going to be Ghazi's downfall this Sunday.
Seems to have him legitimately concerned, Sills. I myself am concerned, of course, mostly for the mental well-being of Ghazi, because he does not seem okay.
That's right, but one man who's definitely seemed okay is our JWF Captain's Champion, the man who's going to be facing Blake Tanner and Ghazi in that hellacious match, a man who has not been defeated all year, and that is, of course, our JWF Captain's Champion, the Dylan. So we have sent one of our top interviewers to hear from the Dylan ahead of this epic match this Sunday. Let's have a listen.
Hello everybody, Honey Pot McCrispy Crispy Chicken, here with the man who's set to defend his title in an epic triple threat Heck in a Sec match this Sunday, the Dylan. Now Dylan, last week Tibbs announced you were set to face both Ghazi and Blake Tanner, men you have faced in the past inside this hellish structure. Do you have any response to that match?
You know, Honey Pickle, I'm getting really tired of all of this. I'm getting tired of people like Ghazi and Blake Tanner getting in the way of me actually getting to put on a good wrestling match. I am the best wrestler in this company, nay, the world. And what am I doing? Facing two people I've already beat down Ghazi the last pay-per-view. Hell, I've beaten Blake Tanner more times than I can count. But here I am, once again, putting up my title against people I've already beaten, because some old man can't find anyone better for me to face. So this coming Sunday, at Heck in a Sec, I'm going to have to once again put down these nuisances, so that on the other side of this horrible slog of mediocrity, I can find an opponent great enough to help me put on the level of match that these people deserve, and that can prove definitively that I am the best.
Well, strong words there from the Dylan. Tibbs, every time you give that man a microphone, gold is gonna come out. But here's hoping he's coming out with gold this Sunday when he steps into Heck in a Sec.
I'll tell you something, Sills. Heck in a Sec, that will be an ultimate test. An ultimate test of the undefeated Dylan's strength.
That is right. But as we said, that rivalry has been dating back all the way to Summerfest, but another one dating back is between Danny Roanoke and Hollywood Hulcher, men who have fought in every conceivable type of match over the past few weeks in their best of 7 series. And let's be honest, for a while there, we thought Hollywood Hulcher was donezo. He was down 3-1. But of course, over the past few weeks, he has come back with victory after victory, outsmarting Roanoke every step of the way, which led to them making a match for this Sunday in the most hellacious structure possible, the most vicious match, Heck in a Sec. And Tibbs, let me tell you something. I got no idea what kind of viciousness is in store when those two step in the ring.
We will have to see, Sills. This rivalry, as you said, has gone on for so long. It has had some ups and downs, especially for Hollywood Hulcher, who has been fighting for this position for so long. He's been behind, and now we are here at the decider.
That is right, and I actually sat down earlier today for an exclusive interview with both of these men. Tibbs, this is the first time these men have been in a room and not trying to beat the hell out of one another.
That is an accomplishment in itself.
That's right, so why don't we go back to that interview earlier today. I'd like to thank you two to start things off for joining me for this exclusive interview.
Yeah, no problem, Sills.
Yes, it's no problem. Now, look, I know tensions are high between you two. I mean, you've been beating the living hell out of each other for the past 2 months, but for me, I gotta send this first question over to Danny. It seems to me that this Best of 7 series, and honestly, it started out as an attempt to embarrass Hulcher, and over the months, it seemed more like an attempt to teach him. Would you say that's accurate? I never was trying to embarrass Hulcher, Silver Spoon. He managed to do that perfectly fine on his own. Coming down to the ring, dancing to the crowd before hitting a few generic moves and getting an easy victory. You see, Hollywood Hulcher was a joke. That's what he had always been in the JWF, a joke, until Danny Roanoke came along.
Oh, really?
And taught him a
That's
thing.
what you think? Easy victories. I
Yes.
defeated a former JWF champion, Blake Tanner, in my first
Oh,
match
yes,
back
the
at this
guy who
company.
hasn't
Don't you
won a
remember?
match all
Last year I won
Yes,
the
very
Highway to
good
Hell
for you.
tournament down in
Oh,
JXT.
you mean the tournament
Don't you
for the people who
remember?
are bad. That's what you would Gentlemen, can we please calm down here? You two will have plenty of time to fight this Sunday inside Heck in a Sec. Which does lead me to my next question, and this one's for Hulcher specifically. This Sunday, Heck in a Sec, most devastating structure in JWF history, and there's no room for clever mind games, just brutality. Are you prepared to step inside against Roanoke?
Sills, I've been ready since he announced this match 8 weeks ago. I've been ready to take Danny Roanoke to hell ever since I was down in developmental. You know, Sills, a lot of people think that the reason I left JWF back in 2016 was because I was a selfish, ego-fueled prick. No. I left the JWF because I let Danny Roanoke get in my head, man. He told me I wasn't ready. He told me I didn't deserve to be called up and be here on the main roster, and he said I was a failure. Ever since that day, I regretted it. Which is why this Sunday isn't about some little attack that Roanoke did to me months ago. It's not about the time that he spent playing mind games with me, trying to take over my world. This Sunday is about 3 years of my career and my life that he took away from me. Oh, the title reigns that I could have had, the WrestlePalooza main events that I could have been a part of. That is the life that Danny Roanoke cost me.
Danny, is this true? Okay, fine. If Hulcher wants to make this personal, why don't we make things personal, Silves? I mean, you and I, we've wrestled together in the past, correct? We've worked together, and you and I have both been champions. We know what it takes to be a star here in the JWF, correct? Well, I guess so. So look at this child next to me and try to tell me he would survive a minute inside our JWF. If he would have walked out during our era with his dumb little entrance and his fancy cane, what would have happened? Tell me, Silves. we would have ate him alive. And that
Your
is
era,
why
your time, your JWF. That's all I hear
is
about
my
you.
time
But this
to
isn't
speak.
your JWF anymore, Danny. This is the
Okay.
modern era where anyone
Oh,
can
very
be
good.
a
We're
star.
going to
Could
use
you,
that.
Would you shut
You're
up
going
for
to
a
use
second,
that.
man, and just
Gentlemen,
let me...
please. I see I touched a nerve with that last question, so I'll just end with this. This Sunday, Heck in a Sec, the most devastating structure in sports entertainment. What does this match mean to you? It means proving to the world what I've known for the past 3 years, that Hollywood Hulcher does not deserve to be in the JWF. It means taking a beloved hero of the people and reducing him down to his bare parts. It means convincing this man what I tried to tell him years and years ago, that he doesn't belong here. And Hollywood, what's it mean for you?
3 years, Sills. That's what this all means to me. 3 years of my life. 3 years of trying to fill that void, that emptiness that I was left with when I walked away from this business. 3 years of pain, 3 years of anger, and all of it, Sills, is gonna come out this Sunday when I step inside Heck in a Sec. I know I'm not gonna walk out the same guy that I was. I might even have a broken back, a broken neck, a few ripped tendons and muscles. I don't care. I will have at least proven to Danny Roanoke that it doesn't matter what happened in his past. Because this JWF is a new JWF. And it's gonna belong to Hollywood Hulcher.
Well, Tibbs, there it is right now. A lot of passion from both of these men. And you know what? Being a guy that was around when Danny Roanoke was originally wrestling, I gotta say, I see where he's coming from. A lot of these younger guys don't have the same attitude. But also, when I think about the kind of guys we were back then, Tibbs, I gotta be honest, I'm kind of happy that these guys aren't like we were.
Oh, Sills, it was terrible. It was terrible. I don't even want to think about it most of the time. It was terrible, Sills.
There were drugs, and they were not the good ones.
No, I only stuck with the good ones.
Yeah.
I
But-
still do the good ones, but you know what I mean, right?
Well, if you want to talk about good ones, I want to talk about our JWF Tag Team Champions, because they are a couple of good ones. Our Tag Team Champions, the Rising Suns, the Hammerman and Fomosan, and we of course know that they're going to be aligning with their brethren, the VWO, this Sunday to be taking on the Hard Americans, the Wild-Eyed Southern Boys, AJ Steele. And Tibbs, I gotta ask you this right now. We know the VWO, they are high up in our power rankings. Do you think that could lead some jealousy going into this match? I mean, this thought of like, we know they're family, but also we know how much the VWO like championship gold.
That might be a point, Sills. Hard fact of the matter is that even before any of this family animosity might even come up, the Rising Suns have still got to get past the Hard Americans. There, I said it. And they're not going to make it easy.
That is right, and I cried, Tibbs. I thought we were done with this. I didn't think that AJ Steele, I thought he was on this Hard American thing anymore. I didn't know AJ Steele was still doing Wrestle Wars.
No, he's actually paid out for 3 more after this up front. It just doesn't tell me when.
Oh, God. Well, let's go down to AJ Steele for another episode of Wrestle Wars. Hello, everybody, and welcome to Wrestle Wars. I'm your host, the man with the body of steel and leader of the Hard American Brigade, AJ Steele. And folks, this Sunday is about to be a night that goes down in history for Hard Americans everywhere. Because let me tell you something. I've had people coming to me all month asking me, AJ, what is a hard American? What does it take to be a hard American? And I'll tell you right now, being a hard American means bleeding blue and pissing gold. It means never taking no for an answer no matter what she says. It means working for what you want. Guy Fieri, the JWF champion, that man is a hard American. Robert Hill, that's a hard American, baby. And my boys, the wild-eyed Southern boys, those are some real hard Americans. And this Sunday, all those hard Americans are going to war with these little snowflakes that think wrestling's supposed to be fun. We're ready to show them what wrestling really is. And that's a war. That's two competitors, well, eight competitors in our case, ready to step between those ropes and being ready to go toe-to-toe in a vicious battle of life or death. And speaking of stepping between those ropes, are you not ready to step between the ropes when it's time to go with your lady? Does your dangle need a little upsy-doodle? Then get AJ Steele certified man pills. Take them up, get it down. Use promo code BIGBOYAJ for an extra 30% off your first order and be a real hard American. As always, ladies and gentlemen, this has been Wrestle Wars, and VWO, get ready to go down this Sunday. Tibbs, is he allowed to do sponsored spots on the show?
No, Sills, he's also not allowed to say half of what he said. As a matter of fact, he is a perfect product of that old generation that we don't like to talk about anymore, huh?
That is right, Tibbs. But two of the newest generation, two men who are getting ready to step in for the JWF Championship this Sunday inside Heck in a Sec are, of course, your son, Chuck Tibbs, and the king of Flavortown, our JWF champion, Guy Fieri. And let's be honest, I know Guy Fieri, not everyone's a big fan of it. But you gotta be honest, we have seen him work his way up the mountain for years. To see him get this title, it has been a prestigious thing to see. But of course, Chuck Tibbs, your son, he says that despite all the victories, despite everything he's been through, he says Guy Fieri doesn't deserve it.
Well, Sills, I don't know if I can completely agree with Chuck on that. Guy Fieri, of course. Listen, think about it this way. Guy Fieri's been running a marathon for his entire career to get to where he's at right now. And at the last few steps, he kind of hit some people with chairs to make sure he was in first. Chuck has kind of been running a sprint to get to where he is right now, and he's also hit some people with chairs. So really, who has the right to be right?
Everyone is going to be vicious this Sunday, but right now our champion is in the ring. Guy Fieri is here, and he has some words after all of this accusations that have been thrown his way by Chuck Tibbs. Let's hear what Fieri has to say.
This Sunday, I step into the most devilish structure to ever be created by the demented mind of Captain Tibbs. I step in between 15-foot walls of pure steel and hate. I step into Heck in a Sec. And I'm walking out with my championship. And look, I know what everybody's been saying. Oh, Guy Fieri, Chuck Tibbs. He's got more experience than you. He's wrestled in the Heck in a Sec match before. He knows what it's like. Yeah, you're right. He has been to Heck in a Sec. He does, and he lost. You see, anyone can wrestle in a Heck in a Sec match and lose. It's not exactly that difficult. Hell, Guy Fieri could play in the Super Bowl, win Wimbledon. He could do all of this. Doesn't mean he has to be good at it. You see, Chuck Tibbs, despite everything that everyone says, you don't have more experience than me. You've just had more opportunities to learn, more opportunities to grow, and yet you are still the sad, pathetic loser you were when I walked into this company. You see, Chuck, that's actually what I like about you. You remind me of myself. You remind me of when I walked into this company as a joke, just like you did. You remind me of a guy that worked his ass off to be taken seriously and was willing to put his life on the line to do that. Chuck, in a way, you and I are a lot alike. But while Chuck Tibbs decided to start relying on his family name, relying on his little daddy over there on commentary to get the attention he so craves, I decided to rely on this right hand. I decided to rely on knocking my opponent's head off their shoulders. I decided to get attention through pure, unadulterated violence. And at Heck in a Sec, that's exactly what you're gonna see when I grind Chuck Tibbs' face against that unforgiving steel, when I bash his skull into the mat, and when I break his jaw with my right hand and retain my JWF World Heavyweight Championship.
Well, Tibbs, strong words there from Guy Fieri, who certainly seems determined going into this match. And I gotta say, Guy Fieri is right. Chuck has been relying on this concept of, oh, I'm a Tibbs, that's why I deserve this title. Meanwhile, Guy Fieri, he's just been fighting like hell.
Sills, look in the ring.
Oh, right behind Guy Fieri. He doesn't see him, but it's Chuck Tibbs. He is here. He's in the arena, and he's got Fieri. And he drops him with the DD Tibbs in the center of the ring. And oh, Tibbs, look at that. The title Chuck once wore around his waist right there, and Chuck has it, and he is holding it to the sky, but we can only pray that this is the sight we see at the end of Heck in a Sec this Sunday.
That's only a little bit of the viciousness that you can expect to see at Heck in a Sec. Sills, I am worried for both of these men. I mean, I know Chuck is my son, but I really hope he doesn't get hurt too much. He's gonna get hurt. Sills, everyone here at this pay-per-view is gonna get hurt. I need to let everybody know. This is Heck in a Sec, ladies and gentlemen. It's gonna get hurt.
That's right, and also we've got that ladder match between the Hard Americans and the VWO. We've got Robert Hill making his debut in a handicap match. We have got two more Heck in a Sec matches. That brutal triple threat between Ghazi, Blake Tanner, and the Dylan for the Captain's Championship, and then, of course, the finals of the Best of 7 series between Hollywood Hulcher and Danny Roanoke. It's going to be absolutely can't miss, but you know what else will be can't miss, Tibbs? RJXT, our developmental territories pay-per-view, the Snappening, their most dangerous pay-per-view of the year. I mean, we talk about Heck in a Sec being bad. They actually kill people at the Snappening, those sociopaths.
Maybe we should not have let those two run that company, but you know what? It is out of my hands, and I don't insure them.
That's right, but I'm telling you, some epic matches they're gonna have going on there. Falcor the Stoppable, the Dragon Man, defending his BS championship against his long-term rival, Zeus Hellman, in a 15-minute Iron Man match. They got Chuck Gibbons versus Zack Ryder. They got Emily Ireland versus The Ultimate Karen. Tibbs, did you know they got women wrestling?
Really?
That is right. But until then, remember to support us on Patreon. Patreon.com/AloadofBS gets you access to tons of exclusive goodies, including access to the BS Network Discord is what they call it. And apparently they're watching wrestling on there. You can watch WWE, AEW, all of them, but make sure you always tune into JWF.
Absolutely. Tune us in first and support on Patreon, because Sills, I just got a real interesting idea for down the road.
All right.
Stay tuned.
Okay then. Little bit of a little tease to end this one on. All right, ladies and gentlemen. Well, until next time, he's been Captain Tibbs and I've been Silver Spoon. And this has been JWF Monday Night Ignition, and we will see you next time.